You're watching the latest edition of Pittsburgh Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented today by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping on all their top-of-the-line men's grooming products when you head over to manscaped.com/chat. It is a mailbag today, and as a reminder, you can get on the mailbag by making producer Jeremy's life easier by using hashtag Steelers in the comments section. But before we get going, our question of the day, who do you guys hate more among the other AFC North teams? Type in BAL for the Ravens, CIN for the Bengals, CLE for the Browns, and or you can also just type in FPD to troll Browns Report host and noted loser Matthew Peterson. Our first mailbag question comes from Sam. What chance does Kenny Pickett have of starting a game this season with Trubisky getting the first team reps? Do Kenny Pickett supporters have to hope that Trubisky lays an egg early in the year? A lot to break down on this. This, I think, is the number one story for the series. Who's going to be the quarterback week 1 and also week 18? The week 1 starting odds updated, by the way. Trubisky minus 250, Kenny Pickett plus 170. Those are the current Vegas odds. That's for week 1. I do think there is a very good chance Pickett starts at least one game this year because that would require Trubisky playing so well, or I guess maybe Mason Rudolph, that the Steelers are in playoff contention come Week 18, which, given the loadedness of the AFC, is a very difficult task to achieve, as good as Tomlin has been as a head coach in his career. The current Steelers depth chart does feature Mason Rudolph as quarterback 2, Kenny Pickett as quarterback 3, but the training camp results have been mixed at best for a lot of these quarterbacks. And Trubisky, who drew a lot of praise at OTAs and minicamp, certainly has not run away with the job during training camp. We'll see how the preseason looks, but it is open right now. Trubisky's been maybe not the best, which is a nice way of saying maybe poor. All three guys have shown some ups and downs. Mason Rudolph's drawn some praise, but he's also been check down king for much of camp, and that's drawn some negative comments as well. Kenny Pickett has made a bit of a push, lately making some nice throws, and long-term, he's going to be the guy. It's not going to be Rudolph. It's not going to be Trubisky, although it very well might be one of those veterans for week 1. But in terms of who starts the most games this season, that's our pinned question of the day. Pick a quarterback. Of the three guys, sorry and apologies, I guess, to UDFA Chris Oladokun, who's been getting mental reps. Shows where he's at in the race. MT for Mitchell Trubisky, MR for Mason Rudolph, or KP for Kenny Pickett. This question is the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, it's perfect timing. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let us know. From Kevin Castle, I think it's Castle, not Castle. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Kevin. Who do you predict is going to lead the Steelers in tackles for the 2022 campaign? I'm going Myles Jack. I think that's a good bet. In general, linebackers tend to win that designation, and frankly, if it's a safety, it's maybe a bit of a red flag. It means maybe not great linebacker play or a lot of tackles further downfield against the run. Jack's been a tackling machine for much of his healthy NFL career, and I hope he gets back into form for the 2020 version that, didn't quite look like the best version we've seen in recent history. So hopefully Jack does have a nice season, and I think that's a great guess. That's my favorite to win, or I should say be the leader in tackles for the Steelers. From Dank Walk, great name, also through the hashtag Here We Go. What do you think it takes to get the once Pro Bowl running back Lindsay from the Dolphins, I think? If we do get him, what do you think he can do in our offense? Lindsay's in a very unique situation. He's actually with the Indianapolis Colts now, by the way. He's no longer a member of the Dolphins. Lindsay's stock has, to be blunt, plummeted in recent years. He was awesome his first 2 years back as a member of the Denver Broncos. 2020, he didn't do that much. In 2021, he was even worse. Lindsay was a free agent for a long time. And if you wanted to get him, could have had him in free agency. I don't know how much the Steelers have interest in adding him from that perspective. I don't know how much interest there is because he hasn't been good in recent years. And I think he could get cut by the Colts. So if you want him, wait and see. Frankly, I do think waiting at running back starts to make some sense. They worked out some more notable names like Jalen Richard over the week, or late last week, I should say there. Some names to keep an eye out for. Notable guys who could be cut, I think, would be your RB2. Myles Gaskin with the Miami Dolphins. Maybe Eno Benjamin, former Arizona State legend. Justice Hill, the division rival, just like Dearness Johnson, who I think makes team, but Johnson could get cut, especially if Kareem Hunt gets paid, which I doubt happens. Zach Moss, maybe more of a trade candidate, but not a bad name to keep an eye out for. Now, what position do you need the Steelers to improve the most, in your opinion? What spot are you like, I don't trust that grouping right now? Drop a name for me, or position, I should say, in the comment section. From Dominic Schrader, hot take, the Wizard of Boz's extension is one of the best offseason moves. Losing the second best kicker in the league would be terrible, especially when kickers are hit or miss. I do not like kickers in general. That is a position group that I'm not a huge fan of in terms of, they are inconsistent. But Chris Boswell has been great. He has been awesome for a very long time with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and hopefully that continues now that he's been paid. And I want you guys to like the video if you have support for the Wizard of Boz, he's not bald, but he's got the nice buzz cut going up there. He keeps it nice and tight upstairs. And if you want to keep it nice and tight downstairs, use Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping. It is, after all, the Smooth Sack Summer, and the Ultra Smooth package help keeps your balls smooth. Because let's be honest, no one wants a bunch of hair downstairs. That's not fun for anybody involved. The Ultra Smooth package is available at Manscaped, $31.99. The crop shaver, you get the lotion, the gel as well. Everything keeps you nice and smooth downstairs. 20% off and free shipping on the Ultra Smooth package and the Lawnmower 4.0. You can shave it or just trim it instead. Manscaped.com. Promo code chat if you need it, but if you type in manscaped.com/chat, it'll take you right to the site, and it'll be automatically applied. That 20% discount and the free shipping will be automatically applied. Those links are in the comments section, and they're in the description of today's show. It's manscaped.com/chat. From Alex Broughton, how do you pronounce it? Which rotational/non-starters do you see having the most impact on this team? Looking beyond your key starters, a couple different names I have in mind here. Benny Snell, the running back, is one of them. DeMarvin Leal, the defensive lineman. Calvin Austin, I am excited about at wide receiver. Hopefully one of those guys splash for you in terms of the young, recent draft picks. Robert Spillane, I do still think is in position to be a key part of that defense, which I know not everybody likes. I get it. DeMonte Casey, I think, is safety 3, and I would not be surprised if the team rotates safeties from that standpoint in terms of maximizing running some more big nickel, big dime, 3 safety looks. If you haven't already, obliterate the sub button for us here. Hit that button and subscribe for free Steelers videos all season. That is both regular season, off season, and I guess not both, but including the preseason as well. Hit that red button right now. From Vincent Sorletti, do you think Mason Rudolph will be traded before the preseason or before the regular season? Well, we're almost to the preseason. Frankly, I don't think Mason Rudolph ends up getting traded. Mitch Trubisky has not established himself as the clear and obvious only quarterback option, so I think that helps Rudolph. He is listed as the number 2 on the depth chart. I wouldn't read that much into it. We know how teams like to utilize depth charts as, being the backup or whatever. Kenny Pickett, meanwhile, I think is the long-term answer, but I don't think that any one quarterback has done enough. And frankly, I don't think there's much interest in Mason Rudolph. I mean, if you're lucky, you get a 5th or a 6th round pick for him. For the Steelers, who want to have another veteran on that team, and he's not that expensive, I guess, for the organization, I would lean towards, at this point, things could change, but I would lean towards Mason Rudolph sticking around as a member of the Steelers organization for at least one more season. From Mega Geeker, do you see Big Ben coming back to the team in some capacity as a coach or a front office guy? Always cool to have players who are familiar with the game making the calls. So I agree. I think that's a generally good thing. I don't think Big Ben's that guy, though. I don't think he'd be a great front office member. I don't know if he wants to coach. So I could see Big Ben being involved in some capacity doing something, but I don't think he's the next John Elway in terms of being involved from that perspective, or the next, I don't know, insert backup quarterback here, Mike Kafka, or whatever route we want to go. I'm down to have him involved, but I do think there are probably coaches and front office guys already in place that make more sense. Here's a Steelers example. I don't think it's next Hines Ward. Ward has kind of worked his way up the coaching ladders. Maybe I'm wrong. Happy to be wrong on that standpoint, but I don't know if Big Ben wants to go do the coaching or front office route, and he's certainly made plenty of money to not need it from that standpoint. Now, if you made it to the end of today's video, we appreciate that. It makes you a real one here at Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. Type in "Here we go" in the comment section to show you made it to the end of today's video.